Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that really supports your health and wellness. This week we're going to talk about the 3 main ways that you are exposed to toxins on a daily basis. So we're going to talk about the toxins that you ingest, the toxins that are on your skin and absorb through your skin, and then the toxins that are in your environment. Now, believe it or not, your house actually contributes to all 3 of these problems. And there are some toxins that we're coming in contact with all 3 of these ways. So this week, we're going to break down some of those big toxins and find out how we can give our bodies a break from them. I'm also going to talk to you about how to reduce exposure in all 3 of these ways. So the slides coming up are based on this week's blog post, and what I've done is really broken it down into a really visual format for you. If you're someone who enjoys reading the blog post, clicking the links, head to my blog post, which is linked at the bottom of this week's video. Otherwise, let's get started.
So one of the first things I learned when I started out on this path of lower toxin living is that our bodies have 3 main ways that we are exposed. We're exposed to a variety of toxins in a variety of ways, but there are 3 main ones. And when I initially heard this, it seemed like this was just a really simple way of thinking about toxins by grouping them together. But now I know that this idea helps to not only group toxins together for simplification, but also will help when learning how to detox your body and your home. Toxins come in all shapes and sizes, and we're exposed to them constantly over and over again throughout our day. And some toxins, like pesticides or mold, can be in the food we eat and also in our homes. And when our bodies come in contact with the same toxin in multiple ways, it can bombard our system so that it doesn't function at peak performance. I think learning how to detox your body is important, but also learning how to detox your home and your space is important on the same level. Without fixing what's wrong in the environment, any detox you do for your body will only last so long. If you put a healthy body back into an environment that has overwhelming toxins in it, the body will return to its burdened state, and you'll have to learn how to detox your body again and again. But if you detox your body and your space together, you'll return a detoxed body free from many toxins and chemicals to a space that is clean with very few toxins. And this will ensure that your body can naturally detox itself without having to force a detoxification due to an overworked body. So how to detox your body may depend on what toxins you have issues with. Some of us have naturally low toxin environments, but could stand to clean up our diet and food. And others of us may have toxins pretty much out of our food and kitchen, but need some major work in like the personal care department. So wherever you may need to learn how to detox your body, believe me, you'll have the best results when you stick with it and detox your home and habits as well. So let's get into the good stuff here. Let's talk about these 3 ways. So first is the toxins that are in you. These are the toxins you ingest. Second is the toxins on you, and this is in the clothes we wear, the laundry detergent we use, anything that sits on our skin, lotions, and the third is toxins around you. So we're going to break down each of these, and I'm really going to focus on the toxins around you because that's what Healthy House on the Block is all about. So the toxins in you, the toxins that we ingest have a direct route to our bloodstream where they are then allowed to travel to our organs. But before toxins hit our bloodstream, they also get a chance to affect our gastrointestinal system as well as our gut microbiome. And I think one of the biggest ways that we expose ourselves to toxins through toxins we ingest is what we eat. The good news is that we usually have the most control over this part of our lives as well. So by paying attention to food that you eat, and which toxins you're ingesting, you could eliminate a number of toxins right off the bat. So pesticides, artificial ingredients, arsenic, bisphenol toxins are some of the biggest toxins found in foods. So you want to stick to whole, natural foods or foods with very few ingredients in them. And then second, opt for organic produce and try to avoid canned products. Another way that we ingest toxins is by the pots and pans that we use. Teflon and nonstick pans contain a toxic coating that can leach into the food we cook within that pot or pan. And this is why I love stainless steel, 100% pure ceramic pots and pans, and cast iron. I have linked you to a post that I did that has information on how to pick a non-toxic pot or pan in this week's blog post. And then the last one that I need to mention is kind of gross, but it is the dust that we end up ingesting. So from surface dust to dust in the air, eventually it does end up inside our body if it's floating around in the air. Dust contains a number of toxic chemicals and pollutants such as plastic particles, pesticides, mold, pollen, and formaldehyde. If you have kids, they ingest even more toxic house dust than adults due to their hand to mouth habits and the fact that they just spend more time on the floor than adults do. So this is why it's vitally important to create good hand washing habits, especially before mealtime, to ensure toxins from dust are washed down the drain before we touch our food or our kids touch our food. The next one is toxins on you. So toxins that sit on our skin, our largest organ, are absorbed to enter our bloodstream. Our skin pores not only absorb substances on our skin, but also absorb toxins that sit directly on our skin from clothing and bedding. Our skin works around the clock to breathe in the toxins that are nearest to it. So first and foremost is going to be our personal care products and beauty and bath products. This plays a huge role in toxins that sit on your skin. I found this was a really easy spot to clean up my toxin exposure sources and go low toxin relatively quickly, inexpensively, and easily. I wasn't necessarily tied down to any of my beauty products, and so swapping them out became kind of a fun game. I opted for clean beauty products from trusted sources that I found on the Environmental Working Group's verified product list. I also go to Naked Poppy, which has makeup and skincare, and I like to use Environmental Working Group's verified Biossance for my skin, and I have those linked in this week's blog post for you. And then so the next area would be our clothing that sits on top of our skin. So materials that are synthetic in nature often contain microplastics, and that then sits on top of our skin, bringing with it PVC toxins, phthalates, and possibly bisphenol toxins. Even natural materials like cotton, however, can contain pesticides and toxic dyes that introduce our bodies to unnecessary toxins. Clothing that sits close to the skin for long periods of time is the most important to buy organic, in my opinion. Pajamas and undergarments are a great place to start. Another one is from the bedding and upholstery that sits on our skin. So the same toxins that could potentially be in clothing also have direct contact with our skin as we sleep. In addition, our bedding and upholstery can contain flame retardants and formaldehyde, which are both carcinogenic in nature. So try to find certified organic bedding, but if you can't swing this option in your home, then go for Okotex Standard Certified for a still safer option. I also have linked you guys to a post that I did all about organic bedding in this week's blog post. And then the last one is toxins that are found in our laundry products. Most laundry products become embedded into the fibers of the fabrics you're washing. It's kind of like, have you ever gotten secondhand clothes from a friend or even at the store, and you just can't seem to get the fabric softener smell out of these clothes? It is because the softeners and detergents stay on the clothing and the fabrics we wash. They get embedded. So opt for an EWG certified product, or I like drops. I also have a coupon for them because I love their toxin-free laundry products. You can use the code HHOTB25 for your first order and get 25% off. It's a great option for non-toxic laundry products. So now let's talk about the toxins that are around you. Obviously, my blog and my services hit these areas the hardest. And the toxins that are around us can be inhaled into our lungs, which leads to our bloodstream and affects all areas of our body and potentially damages and irritates our airways and lungs along the way. Toxins around us are often unnoticed because there's no way to detect them without a monitor or an air test. So many of us are used to the off-gassing that's constantly surrounding our bodies that we no longer notice like the subtle signs that may be affecting our body until it's too late and we begin experiencing body burden. So the toxins that are around us come in the form of VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds. They off-gas constantly. This can range from paint to flooring to furniture and cleaning products we use in our home. Often newer materials contain more VOCs and are off-gassed into the air at a much higher rate. If you can find a product that is zero VOC, especially when it comes to paint or stain or varnish, this is the best option. I like ECOS for that option. It's zero VOC completely, and I have lots of links on my blog for this. The next one is going to be hazardous materials like lead paint, asbestos tiles, asbestos insulation. In general, it's best not to disturb these materials and have them completely enclosed if you possibly can. The second best option is to have them removed by a licensed professional with special OSHA certifications where they know how to properly remove hazardous toxins from your home. The next type of toxins are going to be microplastics, dust allergens, pesticides, toxic house dust, and other particle toxins that end up in our home. The dust from these toxins can get pushed around by our natural airflow in our home, and then they get pushed up into the air. And so by keeping our house free from as much dust as possible, we can reduce a large source of toxin exposure without even spending a dime. All right, so how do we detox our body? I am not an expert, but I do know like a little bit about giving our bodies a break from toxins. And I've learned a little bit about how to detox my own body through my healthy house journey. Essentially, I think it boils down to removing a plethora of toxins, which could potentially be affecting your system and overloading it. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, I think that includes a lot of diet changes that we may not be willing to make. Many food sources have become burdening our bodies like dairy, gluten, sugar, and other foods we ingest every day. But to start, you could ease into cutting out artificial and processed foods. And once you've mastered that, you could cut out most refined sugar as well as produce that could contain harmful pesticides or hormones. I'm also linking you to 2 sources in this week's blog post that have a wealth of information on detoxing your body. The second step, I think, when you decide to detox your body is to clean up your products and your fabrics. Again, do this one step at a time and cut one thing out with a break before you cut out the next thing. To start, you could get rid of all synthetic fragrances. Next, you could switch out shampoo and soap, followed by makeup. And I think the trick here is to make a plan and then follow through just one step at a time so that these changes stick. So now let's talk about how we detox our home. First step, test for mold. This is going to uncover one of the most dangerous toxins in your home. It can be the source of a variety of health problems, from autoimmune disorders to general feeling of just being unwell. And this is, I offer a mold test that you can purchase through me, and I have that linked in this week's blog post. The next thing is to test for environmental toxins. Knowing if VOCs are off the charts or if there's toxic lead particles in your dust and air can be life-changing when it comes to identifying what the sources are and then removing them. This is another test I also offer on my website, and I have that linked for you guys as well. Number 3, get rid of the house dust. So remove dust with a wet dusting cloth, a wet mop, a HEPA filter vacuum, and do it on a regular basis. 4 is to regularly change your air filters, furnace filters, whole house filters, air purifier filters. They all need to be changed on a regular basis to ensure that they're not that they're not actually just pushing more dust around, that they're actually removing it. If they become clogged or laden with dust, they don't work as efficiently. Number 5 is to open your windows. So even in the winter, I rotate through my house and open windows to allow fresh air inside and toxic air to be exchanged with outdoor air. It's a great way to get fresh air in and dilute the toxic air inside. 6 is to mechanically ventilate. So pair this with your open windows and it's such a great process. So you'll use your house fans, your ceiling fans, and your HVAC fans to push air out and around your home. Mechanical ventilation can actually speed up the air exchange process and dilute the toxic air inside by pushing it around and moving it throughout your space. 7 is to use EWG verified cleaning products. So Environmental Working Group has a great database. I usually opt for products that are verified by them or that get an A rating. If you opt for these cleaning products, you can ensure that the cleaners you spray in your home aren't going to introduce unnecessary toxins to your space. And then the last one is to stop using all synthetic fragrances. So air fresheners, candles, plugins, wax melts, they all use synthetic fragrances that should be completely avoided. You can opt for a certified organic freshener or essential oils. So whatever way you begin to detox your body and your home, know that any step counts as a positive step in the right direction. I'm so thankful to be here to help you through this journey as we change the narrative around our homes and products.
You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and covering these 3 ways that we are exposing our bodies to toxins on a daily basis. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment or send me an email. Otherwise, I'll be back next week with another healthy house tip on creating an indoor environment that really supports your health and wellness.